This is not youth soccer. It's not your regular youth soccer where you pay your money and then you show up and you're guaranteed stuff. Like, it's just like a professional environment. When you come into this academy, like, the best players are going to play. We're trying to develop them and get the best out of them. And some days you learn more by sitting on the bench and watching and observing.
We got to remember, Landon's still only 17, so he still has time to grow and develop as a professional player. And then, of course, he's got his brother Ty, who's at UNC Chapel Hill, who's got the college experience, but also because he started in the academy program up front, he can bring that knowledge and wealth of knowledge to Landon as well. So not only is Landon learning from Ty, but he's also learning from his professional teammates as well.
We want our players to be role models. We want them to be mentors. And again, beyond the immediate academy environment.
They ask him to be professional. You're in an environment in front of lots of people watching you, whether it's on TV or at home, and to ask someone that's not really technically an adult yet to be an adult is a lot to ask, but it seems easier when you have such good role models like them. And all the players, again, such great role models.
We have our first team players, our academy players regularly volunteering with RVA Access, for example, and it is an area that we want to continue to increase and improve as well. But certainly both parties benefit from it.
Mika Elavara does an amazing job with our IDP program. It's the individual development programs that we do with each player. You know, Connor Capoletti also helps, Evan Munn helps, I help. We work with each player. How do we maximize your potential? And Mika could take it to the absolute end of the earth with his PhD. He's very intelligent. He knows how to do that because it isn't just about us winning. It's about making sure that the guys we have here reach their potential even as pros. That's why the academy is so important. That's why the player pathway is, because if you can do that at 13, 14, 15, 16, then we're not cleaning up and reigniting careers at 21, 22, 23. It's already succinct. We're still going to do that. Ethan Bryant's a wonderful player. He was a wonderful player when he got here, but I think we helped him refigure out who he was, and now he's doing awesome at Sporting KC.
This isn't a short-term project. This isn't a turnkey where let's just do it and it happens, right? You know, one of the things I always ask the supporters group is that, what do you guys get excited about? And every time the USA shows up in the World Cup or Copa America the other night, everybody that's a Richmond Kickers fan says, hey, Matt Turner, he played for the Richmond Kickers, right? So what if we had 10 kids that came through our academy that played for the Richmond Kickers that we sold on to Europe or MLS or somewhere else beyond, and then in 5 years you're watching a Champions League game and you're like, hey, there's Nick Simmons. He used to play for our club, the Richmond Kickers. There's Griffin Garnett. He grew up playing for the Richmond Kickers. That's his hometown boyhood club. So we think this is a viable pathway.
At some time, at some point, you have to say, we're going to do something for the long haul. That's what this is. If you want sustainability in pro soccer in the United States, you have to do this, male and female. And the female game that's growing exponentially is going to benefit if we do this correctly on the male side, because we've just been around longer and done it longer.
I was talking with Chris Jennings, part of our ticketing team, and he said just yesterday, you know, the amount of season ticket holders that get excited about watching the game, and whether we win or lose, they like the connection to see somebody like Nick Simmons, who's a local kid that goes to high school, Griffin Garnett, who just finished his junior at Trinity. He likes the fact that these kids are Richmond kids, and we've had a few through the years. Chris Durkin was here for a little while, went on to DC and now plays in St. Louis, and was in Belgium for a little bit. So we have a few like one-offs, but we want to make this a pipeline so that if you're a talented young soccer player that you have the right tools, it doesn't matter whether you're 15 or 16. If you can play, and we want to get you onto the field.
Because in order to develop a player like Griffin Garnett or Nick Simmons, you have to put them in the environment with men, with grown-ups, with adults, in situations that they're going to face at the intensity they need to face it at in order to develop. We need people to embrace that and get excited about it. I saw I follow social media, they blew it up, it's one of our own. In order for us to develop Griffin Garnett and have local kids that play in our team and move on to higher levels, at some point you have to put in the groundwork in order to get there. And this is the way to do it. This is the way it's done around the world.
We've been doing this for a longer time than people realize. We've been hoping to be able to integrate the local talent more and more into our first team roster.
Yeah, I mean, again, that very first conversation with Darren, it was clear when he came here he had a vision. And he had outlined it to us about, this is what they're doing in Europe, and this is what other clubs are doing. And Richmond has this really rich history of producing really good soccer players. And as he kept saying, there's no reason they should leave here. They can sleep in their own bed, and they can play here. And so that was, at that time, a vision He was trying to get the other soccer local aficionados to buy into his vision, and of course we were bought in because we didn't want to see our kids leave early, and we really wanted to get that experience. But again, 2021, when Todd was here, it was a vision, it was an outline, it was
in its infancy. So to stick by Darren and just to see his vision come to fruition, it's truly an honor to be in this situation, and helping Landon still develop and grow now as a professional player, but also he's still young.
We're really excited about where the sporting committee from the USL is going. We need to figure out as League One, what are we going to be? And I think you'll start to see over the next couple months some of the new initiatives that we're going to embark upon so that we're prepared to give these kids the environment that they need to develop to be great human beings first, which is the most important part, and then secondly, fantastic soccer players.
From the community side, it's, man, I read this last week when somebody in the USL Championship wrote an article about Griffin Garnett. And they talked about, oh, this is great. The Kickers are doing it. Yeah, we're putting our money where our mouth is. We're committed to it. We didn't just sign them. We're playing in significant minutes.
So what hopefully they can expect is to see more of those kids in the first team environment training, hopefully signing contracts as well, or better yet, being pushed on to the next level as well, after having first team minutes and all that stuff. So hopefully within the next, coming years, they can see new names coming in and be more familiar with the Richmond United talent that is coming through our now USL Academy system, and getting to hear their name more on, whether it's preseason or friendly games or stuff like that. So, they've already gotten a taste of it, and hopefully they're going to get more taste of it if they come to the games, and then they're going to see more of it as the years come.
As part of the ownership group, we want to win. That's core to our mission, but really we want to make sure we have long-term sustainability in the league. And I think the big thing that we're struggling with across USL League One is what kind of league are we? Are we going to be a selling league, or are we going to be a retirement home for older players? And to me, we want to have that nice mix of some older veteran players, which have always been core to the Richmond Kickers, but at the same time, we want to bring in these young local kids. One of the things that Darren and Mika have shown, and Darren can speak to it better than I can, but we're fielding a lot of calls from some family members, agents from around the country that say, hey, the young guys in Richmond, they actually get to play in the games. They're not sitting on the bench. They're not just going to training. They're actually involved in first team playing and getting opportunities. And it's like everybody's, you don't know how they're going to do till they get in there. But until you get on the field in a professional game and you find out how these kids do, you just don't know. Like, training is one thing, but putting them in the live action, the live fire, we're excited about that.
The short-term thing is we're still trying to win games. We're going to win games, okay? But if we could change our model and just play only to win right now, and that may not give us the longevity, right? We saw that after 22. Guys that we had developed had moved on. We tried to recycle, and it's hard. It takes 2-3 years to really develop a player. So what we want is for in the short term, we want people to say, okay, we love the Griffin Garnetts, we love the Nick Simmons, we're going to win some games, we're going to chase trophies, we're going to do these things, knowing that we're going to try to perpetuate this. We're going to try to make it forever. The long term is the end product of this. If we can get it as close to right as possible, it means that they're going to have a team not only to love watching because we're entertaining, and we're entertaining now, but it's also a team that wins things, that get a chance to celebrate more.
What should be at the end of that pathway, and then continuing to have that, should be bigger percentage of local players on the roster, more success, more consistently across the board, whether it's the Kickers winning, the Ivy winning, our academy teams winning even more, more players to professional teams, more players to higher levels, the highest levels that they can potentially aspire to get to for college. Happier alumni who, even if soccer is not their thing after high school, they want to come back and be part of this. So for me, the outcome should be manifold. It should be, on the one hand, it should be on the field. We are a professional soccer club, and we want to have the best possible team so that we compete for championships all the time, but it's far more than that, and it should be. So the other side of success is measured in our presence in the community, for sure.
The beautiful part about Richmond, we have some incredible corporate supporters out here. We have a bunch of great nonprofit partners. I just want people, when you go places, to say, hey, what are you doing Saturday night? And I want it to be, go out to the Kickers game. That's our team. That's Griffin Garnett, that's Nick Simmons, right? That's James Sneddon. Those are kids that grew up here and that we're gonna pull for them because they represent all of us. What's great about all of us?
It should be about what we are for our community. and I feel fortunate that we have that, and it's been laid out from the very beginning. You know, I was here for the first season of the new ownership group, and I'm very grateful that I've been here from the very beginning, because the foundation was laid then, joyful, authentic, united, and we truly mean it. At the end of the day, it is a game. It is a game, and it should be enjoyed, right? The atmosphere at the stadium will be joyful if we're winning, right? How you get there sometimes requires a more serious approach. But if we're our authentic selves, then we're able to express ourselves through the different roles that we have within the organization. And then truly united certainly transcends any brands. You know, forget about Kickers, Ivy, Richmond United, names that are currently very much present. But we want to be here for everybody in the Richmond community, and we want to unite the community.